I want to know, you know, how you feel about uh the Atlanta hip hop scene and how it's advanced from the time that, you know, Andre 3000 said the South had something to say to where it is right now.
Well, and this is not to, you know, I got to make sure that I'm clear these days. You know what I'm saying? Um, but to answer your question, you know, anybody that's coming, you know, after you
Mm-hmm.
is going to be, you know, affected, whether, you know, directly or inadvertently in some kind of way. But, you know, we are under your skin. And so, like, you know, we are in your DNA. I mean, like, we are in the air that you breathe. And so we consider, you know, I mean, like, what's going on with Atlanta, we consider this generation to be our children, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
in some regard. And I believe that they are relishing, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, and reveling in an inheritance that we left. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
Yeah,
why we put in the work. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
so, um, everybody kind of, you know, whether it be, you know, from creating trends, styles, fashion, you know what I mean? Like, and all of the, um, and everyone just advantageous in all of these different many directions, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
it's all still relative to a collective society that is Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? And then I've seen t-shirts that say, um, you know, Atlanta influences everything. And I think there's a lot of truth to that.
Right.
So, you know, I believe that, you know, a lot of the young ones are able to um, be as confident, you know what I mean, and be as able and armed, you know what I mean, like with their own sense and perception of individuality and community because of the because of the example that we set. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and you just don't really see you don't see that a lot in a lot of other different regions. And I think Atlanta is special in that way because we breathe life into our children. You know what I'm saying? You feel
Mm-hmm.
me?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah, yeah.
always about Atlanta being a community. You know what I mean? When I was coming up, everything was really close knit. You know what I mean? Like we all did things together, all of us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
TLC or Arrested Development. Like if you know, if you and I'm a little older, so I'm going to reference artists of yesteryear that I want to acknowledge. In the course of this conversation, where people can throw back and go and discover these artists and their music. You know what I mean? Either
Mm-hmm.
you'll be revisiting it, either I'll be reminding you of that time, or I'll be introducing it to you for the first time. But for example, like Arrested Development. Um, there was a short-haired sister who was a dancer. Of course, we all know the lead singer Ishi. I mean, Speech, right? But her name was Ishi, but her real name is Tamika Gaither. When we
Mm-hmm.
were kids, I went to Tamika's mother's dance class. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Yeah, that's right. I took tap and jazz and all that kind of stuff. When I was
Yeah,
young, I wanted to be a dancer. You know what I'm saying? I
yeah.
still can dance too if I wanted.
What kind of dance are we talking about?
Huh?
What kind of dance are we talking about?
African dance?
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But she did increment. She did different lessons. She did tap. She did jazz, African dance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
It was a dance school, almost like it was our own Alvin Ailey, our little community Alvin Ailey dance school.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Do you know who Alvin Ailey is?
No, I'm gonna have to do my research on Alvin Ailey.
You should check him out. You should check him out.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you all have done to keep Atlanta such a close knit community? Because I see you worked with everybody that's from Ti. Young Jeezy, Offset, you know, where you actually have singles with these people. And I'm not talking about, oh, this was in the early 2010s, etc. I'm talking about recently, you know what I mean, within the last 3-4 years. So what are some of the things that have held, it's almost like Atlanta as a whole moves as a unit. So what are some of the things that has allowed that to be?
Well, you know, we talk and we consort, you know, and we communicate and we commune with each other. I mean, like, let's say there's a studio city in Atlanta where the main studios are all in the same, you know, relative space. I mean, you got QC, you got Stankonia, a street over. Then you've got T.I., you know, across the street, and his whole Grand Hustle collective. And then you've got Future and Southside right on the other street. So it's basically in walking distances of each other. And what we kind of do is, you know, I've been called to different sessions just to be like, yo, OG, what you think about this? You know what I'm saying? Like, listen to my project, man. Tell me, you know, we young, so we know what the young folk want to hear. But man, you can, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe you can help me give them that other thing, that other alternative. Maybe I could just, you know, stretch it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because like a lot of artists want to do. They want to be, but nobody wants to go so far out on the limb to where it's alienating, and you know the risk is just, you know what I mean, unbearable. You know what I'm saying? So we took those risks for everybody else to get to those points of destination a lot more clearly. You know what I'm saying? And a lot more comfortably. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm saying that to say that's how we do it. That's how I you know, I've known Coach K for years. I mean, like when he was working with Gucci.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So my man Zook, who manages the Migos now, he started his career working with Dallas Austin, who's like my big brother. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then also then he started another company, and I bought a building. I had a building at the time, and he did a subleasing, so he ran his company out of a building that I owned at the time. And that's how we befriended each other and became really good friends. And you know, we have a constituency amongst us. So you know, when I got the call from him, like, yo, the young boys want you to do something. Offset wants you to come in and rock with him on his album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how that stuff happens, man. But it's just a lot of love. But like all of the lines of communication are just wide open, and ain't nobody really on no bullshit with each other, man. Like, forgive my language, you know what I'm saying? Like, but everybody just real, and it's easy to be real when you see people who have risen to certain heights and levels of the game. When they can meet and greet you, and you can be up close up on them, and you can feel their energy, you can smell. You know what I mean? You can smell them. You feel me? And you know it's authentic, and you know it's genuine. Then it's all good. You know what I mean?